So the PlayStation 4, lots of good stuff coming out on it. We had exclusives like Infamous and non-exclusives that were also awesome, but it's kind of hard to pick from a category that has such great games on it, right? I mean, you played Transistor a lot. You love Transistor.
There were some fantastic nominees this year, but for me and for everyone else, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor was just, for me, it was my best experience on PlayStation 4.
When you think of like a next-gen game, like we have the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, it is their generation, so we want to see like new stuff. We want to see developers charting new ground and taking big risks, and that Nemesis system was a huge risk. That thing could have not worked at all. But they pulled it off, and it's so intricate. You go in and you know, from start to finish, all of these enemies that you come up against have their own abilities and their own weaknesses and their own personalities, and they interact with you in different ways, and sometimes they come back after you've hurt them and they have this vendetta against you. And I think that deep of a rabbit hole, it's so hard to look at any other game that has a system where you're constantly fighting. It helps you craft a story. Like, yeah, they have a story in that game, but it's essentially your story. Like,
Ratbag is war chief! There are these orcs, there are these personalities that you see, and you develop these vendettas, and you don't know where they're gonna show up. They might be dogging you, they might just like come in the middle of a fight that you're already kind of overwhelmed and like, not this guy again. The way that is almost like procedural personality gives this game, and that is just such an incredible innovation.
Oh, no escaping this time!
When you think about like the traditional third-person action game, they're basically breadcrumb trails. You're like going to this place, doing the mission, hitting the boss, doing the mission, hitting the boss. Like, it's only after about 5 or 6 hours in Mordor you're like, wow, I'm actually playing this third-person action game in a way that I've never really played a third-person action game, or at least not that often. And then, you know, we can rattle on about the Nemesis system. Outside of that, it's a really solid game. Like, I really enjoy the combat. I really enjoy the exploration.
I think one thing we all seem to agree on is the Nemesis system is the one mechanic from 2014 that's most likely to impact games going forward.
Right. That is a next-gen system. Shadow of Mordor is the first game that has come out this year that I feel is truly a next-gen game.
And it's funny you say that because, of course, the previous-gen versions of this game did not have the Nemesis system, so you're completely right.
Knowledge of the rings of power is deep.